Good morning again, everybody. Welcome back to LilyLuLou. If you're a returning visitor, thank you so much for coming back again today. And if you're new here, my name's Karen. I'm the Junk Journal Geek. Thank you for giving me a try. So today I'm going to do something very simple to give my poor little brain a rest in this heat. I'm going to make double over the page pockets, I think is what they're called. And this was one of Tina's mass makes. That's Tina at Shabby Dabby Doodah. I think it was last week. She did week 189, and it's these over the page double pockets. So I'm going to be making those today, and I'm using these fabulous papers. These are by an abstract artist named Haley Jewell, and I will link to her. I'll put all her details in the description box below. But she does fabulous abstract paintings and has made a few collections of digital papers of her paintings available. So I have two sets here. I'm not going to try and remember which they are, but as I say, you can have a look at her work and see all of the fabulous images that she has available. And I thought I've got yesterday I had 3 journals on the go. Today it's 4 because I've just been asked to make another journal, and I thought I will make some ephemera, like I said before, so that I've got some things ready to go in these several journals that I'm making. So these are the papers that I'm using today, and this is an idea of what we're making. So the idea is this pocket. This is just folded. I haven't stuck it down or anything, just so that I can show you what we're doing. If this is our journal page, this can either go at the bottom here, so it goes over the page, and then you've got a pocket on this page. If you stick it on 3 sides, you've still got a tuck somewhere, or on 2 sides, whichever. And then on the next page, you've got another pocket ready to go. And because these papers are, this abstract art, they look different on both sides. You could also, depending what size you make them and what size your journal is, you could go sideways. I mean, you could cut the paper down first, use smaller sheets of paper, or you could pop them at the top and have an up tuck pocket. So they're quite versatile. You could even use these, I forgot what I was going to say. I had another idea and it's gone out of my head. It might come back to me as I'm working. So let's crack on and do the first one. So I'm just going to grab random sheets of paper. I don't know how many I'll do today. It's rather bright, isn't it? So we're going to work with the paper landscape, and we're just going to fold the 2 long edges, if you can pick them up. Come on, Karen. And we're going to fold them to the middle so that they just overlap slightly, like that. And then we're going to crease that. So I'm just making sure that, I'm on a straight line there, lining up these bottom edges. And you could vary this. Obviously, you could fold it so that you've just overlapped, so you can see how much overlap there. Or you can go a bit deeper like I have there, and that will vary the width of your pockets as well. So we're going to fold that there. And then we're going to open this back up again and fold in the corners towards those fold lines that you've just made. I can't see my lines, I've got shadows. Let me just move this. I might be able to see a bit better now. I've got bits piled up all around me. So how are you all today? I hope you're all well. As I've mentioned, I'm recording a few of these videos in advance because we're hoping to be away next week. So these will go up while I'm away. At the time of recording, we are having a little bit of a heat wave here. It's very, very hot. And I'm recording, it's the morning, but it's not early, first thing in the morning like I have been doing, because I couldn't get going this morning. I've woken up. Right, so we've got that so far. Let's talk about what we're doing, Karen. Stop wittering about your life. And then we're going to turn it over and fold this back on itself. Now, the one I just showed you, we have folded in half. But obviously you can vary the sizes of these, so I'll do some different sizes as well. And if it's not completely square and it doesn't all line up, like you can see here, this back one is not square to the front one, that doesn't matter because it's going over a page. You're not going to see the back one. Well, you're going to see it, but you're not going to see it against each other. So, right, and then what I want to do is cover this white piece in the middle so that we don't have white showing. So I'm going to open this back up. I'm going to stick my corners down. And this is paper to paper, so I'm just going to use glue stick here. And I know I'm slightly off camera, but I'm literally just putting glue stick on those little triangles that I folded. I'm not doing anything tricky that you need to see. You're not missing anything exciting. Yes, I woke up this morning. I feel like I might be getting a cold, which wouldn't surprise me because my youngest has been quite poorly over the last week, which is lovely if we're going away. And I'm achy. So I just couldn't get going this morning. And then I thought, oh, I'm going to do that. It's nice and simple. I don't have to think too much. It's not too taxing. I'm going to do that today. So, right, so I need some paper just to go in here to cover that white up. And this is just some tea splattered paper. I have got my box of scraps next to me, and I'm just pulling things out of there to go on the backs of these. So let's just see how much of that we need to take off. Out there. So let's just go slightly within that line. I've forgotten what I was saying now. Nothing very exciting, I'm sure. So last night was my daughter's final show at uni, and I was really worried that she wouldn't be able to perform. She's a singer, and because she's been so poorly, Max, get down. I was really worried that she wouldn't be able to go on stage, but she did it. They always do. They amaze me. Right, now if you want to ink your edges, now is the time to do it really, before you stick everything together. So at least on these bits that are going to be stuck down. So I'm just inking those folded down parts, and then I'm going to put some ink. I don't need that to be as long as that, do I? You only need your paper to come down to below, you know, where your points are. So rip that there. Let's glue up my piece of paper. So So we'll have this one at this end. And that also strengthens, you know, because this is just, glue. Because this is just basic copy paper, lining the back with something just gives it a little bit of extra strength. I'll have to wipe that off in a minute. So going that way, and then we want something to go in this end, and we'll do something different here. Maybe a little bit of that. That's pinky, that will do. So I'm going to put that to about there. So again, I'll just rip that off and cut this edge. And pop that in there. Take a little bit off the bottom there. I seem to be making a bit of a meal of this morning. Nothing new there though, is there? Right, the reason I had glue on that other piece is because I put it face down on my glue mat, right on a blob of glue. That's not good, is it? So maybe I should get a glue page out as well. Right, so I'm going to just line that up to the edge there. Oops. And pop that in there. So now we can seal up this edge. Maybe not on your actual lapped Karen. Find something. So I'm just rummaging for something to use as a glue page. I fold that in there and that in there. And then as we fold this up, we've got our two pockets. That looks a bit messy, but I'll sort that out later once that glue's dry. So again, just to show you what that would look like if we popped that on the bottom. We've got that on one side and that on another. So they're really clever, aren't they? Quite effective. So that's one. Let's do another one. Let's do a blue one. So when these papers, I thought I might spray them with tea to dull them down a bit, because they're lovely, vibrant colours. Because I'm making a few journals at the moment that seem to be in these pastel colours, I thought I'd just leave them, because I can, you know, I can always spray them afterwards if I want to add a bit of extra something to them when I know where they're being used, and if I think they need that. So right, so I've just folded my edges again so that one slightly overlaps the other, and now I'm folding the corners back down. I mean, these are so simple. And Tina measured, no, she didn't measure. Tina doesn't measure. Tina found the middle of her page and then folded into it, which would give you, which would avoid that. Right, I'm going to use that on the inside somewhere. I have folded that in the wrong place because I'm talking, I'm not concentrating on what I'm doing. I've made my folds too far down. So I want another blue one. Is there another blue one? There is another blue one. Right, it's quite a dark blue one. So what Tina did, I'll just show you. she made a little mark at the centre here. She didn't actually fold it, but she just found her centre and marked it. Then she folded one piece to the centre mark, and then she folded the other piece so that it just slightly overlapped like that. And then when you fold your corners in, you don't get that issue that I just had where it doesn't meet properly. Hopefully, anyway, if you've done it right. If there's a mistake to be made, you can believe I will find it and make it. Hey ho. That's why they call them junk journals. So, and you see that fits better, that meets better now. So, let's glue our corners. And Tina also slid in, she stuck everything together and then slid in a piece of paper and stuck it down to the back. But I just make a mess when I try and do that. I just, you know, better if it's an open piece of paper that I'm working with, and better to cover it before I stick it together. But you know, everyone finds their own best way of working, and you know what works for you after a bit of trial and error, don't you? So each to their own. There is no wrong or right with junk journals. There's just the way you prefer to do things, and it doesn't have to be anything like, oh, I've just stuck my arm in the glue stick. You know, nobody can tell you that what you do is wrong or right, because it's what's right for you. So there. Right, so that's that piece. So let's find something to go in there. What's this? I've got a piece wide enough to fit in there. That might just go. Is that too much blue though? It's not really, is it? Can I make that work, do you think? That's a proper scrappy piece, isn't it? Haha, let's see what happens here. So this is another scrap buster as well. You know, although I'm using full sheets of paper for the inside, all my scrap box is next to me, and as I'm pulling out bits of paper, I've got loads of other bits of paper that I don't want falling out and making a mess. Right. Let's try and line that up in the middle. Oh, there's a good boy, Max. That's better. My husband's working out in the garden before it gets too hot, and Max was crying because he wants to be out there with him, but if he's out there, he'll be undoing everything my husband's doing, so not a good idea. That looks quite nice, doesn't it? And then this end, I wonder if we could use the other side. We've got a piece that we could use the other side. We could use that edge. Will that come low enough? Yes. Let's have a bash at that. Well, maybe that would look nicer. No, it's not long enough. Right, let's try and get this where it would need to be. Get these raggedy bits off. I don't know why I'm working sideways. Oh, I know, because I can't see what I'm doing if I hold it up there. It's too far away from me. Right, so... yeah, so this is quite good, you know, using all your scraps for the middle piece, although you're using full... but you wouldn't need to use full sheets of paper. Like I said, you could make these smaller. They don't have to be this size, as long as they will fit on your page. You could make them any size you like. In fact, I might find a small piece of paper in a minute and have a try, make a smaller one. So what I should also be doing before I stick these down, I think, is inking this edge so that, you know, just in case you don't make it meet properly or anything. Put your ruler back there, Karen. Get your sticky page, Karen. So yes, I felt like this morning I needed to do something that I didn't have to think about too much. So I know I've done, when this goes up, there'll be two sort of videos, one after the other, that's ephemera and mass make type things. Although, as I said yesterday, making 3 of something can hardly be considered a mass make, can it? But, you know, it was either make something nice and simple or don't do a video at all, and I really did want to get another video up. So there we go, we've got something simple going on. It doesn't always have to be complicated, does it? Right, so that looks quite nice as well. I know the writing on here is upside down, but I don't care. I don't mind about that. Right, I'm going to try and... this glue stick, I'm not putting the lid on because I'm using it, and all the bits of paper are falling out of my box and sticking on my glue stick. Of course they would, it's sticky. Don't put too much on there. Because that was a narrower overlap, I thought I'd use my glitter glue, but I always seem to have problems having too much of that squirting everywhere, and now my hands are all sticky. So I just need a drink. It's water, it's not vodka, I promise. Not this time of the day. Right, so that's like that. And then, should we do a different size one this time? So let's go there, and we can have one nice tall pocket and one shorter pocket. So if we pop that on there, that one would look like that on that page. And then over the page, we've got a nice tall skinny pocket, which would look like that. I think that looks really nice. Let's do some more. And I'm not decorating any of these because, like I said before, I will do that when I'm actually using them where they're going to be used. And you know what I'm like, decorating stuff. I just faff too much. It takes too long and it's boring to watch. So right, we've got to, let's just go random. Now that one, oh, this one I was going to rip. We'll do that. We'll rip that up and use it as the inside back of one of them. Let's do this one next. So I'm folding the long edge up. I don't really need to keep talking you through this, do I? It's not tricky. It's very simple. You could even do these in front of the telly if you had, you know, some sort of lap table or tray or something you could work on. I don't watch much telly, so I wouldn't be doing that, but for those of you that do, this is what I was trying to explain with the other one. If your V doesn't meet in the middle, it doesn't matter with these, you know, they just look nice however they end up. Right, that's a bit too sticky now. I'm just gluing these corners. I know I'm just off screen, but as I say, you're not missing anything. It's nothing earth-shatteringly exciting. Just trying to find bits of my mat that are not sticky. So that's that. And I'm going to glue. No, I'm not. This is ink, not glue. Why is it that all of us junk journalers that make YouTube videos get ink and glue muddled up? Is it because they're the two sort of most common things we use? It's strange, isn't it? You see so many of us saying glue when glue when we mean ink, and ink when we mean glue. Very strange. Right. Let's put that in there. Now I think, where's my fold? This one. I think this may be a bit too much of a contrast. Personally, I know some people would like that. Actually, I think it looks all right. Let's go for it. So this middle piece should be about the right size. Oops. Let's do it that way, Karen. Oh my goodness, I can't even tear straight this morning. The reason I'm not cutting is because you know I can't cut straight with scissors, and I didn't want to keep stopping and getting the chopper out. So I thought I'll just tear with my ruler. Even that's not happening this morning. Right, let's use this end. So we'll want that just below there. You just need a little bit more glue on the corners. I'm trying not to put too much glue on because obviously I don't want the pockets to stick together and then we won't be able to get anything in them. So, right, I'm going to ink this edge, pop some glue on here, so that's not gluey, that's all right. And I also wanted to do something where I didn't need my sewing machine. I miss my sewing machine, but I don't think I'm going to be able to look at that and get it sorted until after we come back. So, right, so oh, that's rather snazzy, isn't it? And let's do the same at this end. Just looking for bits of my mat that haven't got glue on them. make a mess on the front of my pieces of paper. So let's pop that. I'm trying to get that in the middle. And then I haven't got much of an overlap there, so I need to use the wet glue again. Try to be a bit more sparing with it this time. And try and go in a vaguely straight line. These things are all challenges for me. Right, so shall we do another halfway one with this one? It would be better to do this bit when the glue's had a chance to dry, of course, but on video that's really bright and cheerful, isn't it? So if you did you're doing a journal that was all sort of really bright colours, that would work really well. So that's that one. Right, what should we do now? Let's do something with this one. Sorry about Max in the background. You can hear him crying. There's really nothing wrong with him. He's got food, he's got water, he's got shade. He's just not out with his dad. So, do the corners again. I hope this is not too boring for you. How long have we been going? Just over half an hour. So, do you think I should make this the last one? I don't want to bore you all. And I still haven't thought of the other way that I thought, oh, you could do that with these. It hasn't come back to me. Oh, my hands are so sticky. I think it's because it's hot. The glue's going absolutely everywhere. I mean, I'm always a bit messy, but I'm not normally this bad. Right, what am I doing? Glue stick. One. Two. 3. 4. Oopsie. Right, what should we have in the middle of this one? I've got a bit of pink stripe here. That might be quite nice. do we need that? I don't know why I keep turning it over and having a look, because I know I just need to go just below these folds. I just keep having the urge to, I suppose I'm checking what it looks like in my little mind. Let's ink that edge first, and this edge, and this edge, and these folds. I'm just inking now the bits that, you know, will be tricky to get to once everything's stuck together. You can ink the actual piece, obviously, when you're using it. Right, I need... Max, get down. Piece there, that looks nice. Max, down. And I'm just wondering, that's not, I was trying to do the stripes the other way. I don't think that piece is big enough. Oh, look at that. It's just too small, but I don't think anybody will ever notice, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it because I can. Oopsie. Max is nudging me as I'm doing this under the table. Sorry, I keep wiping my hands. I feel so sticky, so gluey. I haven't got that quite up to the edge, but I think it will be all right. So we've got the stripes horizontally on that piece and vertically on the other. And if I'd have just cut that slightly shorter, that would have been okay. But it's fine. I'm sure it's fine. I'm going to use glue stick this time. I'm fed up with that wet glue going everywhere. Just hope I haven't stuck my piece together. Where's my bone folder? Should have been using my bone folder all along. Burnish all these edges. So that's okay. And how big are we going to have this one? I'm going to do a short and a long again, just for a change. So let's have a look at what that will look like on a page. So we've got our nice, tall, skinny pocket there. And when you turn over, you have a little diddy one. Oops, sorry, little diddy one. They're so cute, aren't they? I really love the way these are coming out. How many have I made? One, two, only 4. So my mass make today is not much better than it was yesterday. Shall we go for one more? Let's just do one more. One more and then we'll go home. into the swing of it now. I'll probably carry on making these after I turn the camera off. And if I do, I'll put a picture of all of them up on my Instagram so that you can see how they look. And you will probably see them featured in journals coming soon. My glue stick's even sticking to my non-stick paper. Maybe I won't continue after I turn the camera off. Maybe it is just too hot today to be gluing things. Not often you can say that in England, is it? Make the most of it. I just hope it's nice next week while we're away. I don't know if I finished telling you about my daughter's show last night. It was very good. They all did brilliantly. Apparently they were all ill. One person had to drop out, but they all did brilliantly. And it was all songs and dance. It was a showcase. And they all did absolutely brilliantly. It's probably the best show that we've seen during the years that she's been there. And my daughter was brilliant, obviously. Right, let's choose something for the backing there. So it's very emotional as well because so it was her last show before she graduates, although she is doing the Edinburgh Festival with uni in August, so it's not the last thing they will ever do together, but you know, it was the last thing as their course together at uni. And the uni that she goes to is it's a college and a uni, a college and a university. So she's been there for 5 years, because obviously she's done 3 years university degree and she did 2 years of college prior to that. And the 2 years prior to her being there, my middle daughter was at that college. She went to university elsewhere. So that's sort of a 7-year connection with that particular establishment. So it was quite emotional. My youngest, obviously, this is her 3rd year. So she started in the, you know, in the year of 2020 when everything went haywire. And in 2019, she had glandular fever and was ill for most of 2019. So she's had a real double whammy, poor thing. So like my middle daughter obviously went to that college and then she went on to university elsewhere, and my youngest probably would have done the same had she not been ill in 2019, because obviously you have to audition the year before you go. So because it's a long time to be at one place, you know, there's nothing wrong with it obviously, but it's a long time to be at one place, especially in the performing world, because, you know, they do work at different places. You know, they don't work, it's not like the normal world where you go to work in the same place for a long time and then you move on elsewhere. Generally speaking, I know there are exceptions, but, you know, in the entertainment world, you know, you do a job for a certain amount of time and then you audition and move on and do a different job in a different place, and or even if you're in the same job, you're touring. I'm just rummaging for a different piece of paper. So to be at the same place for 5 years is a long time. But it's done now. I don't know if that's wide enough that way. No, it's not. It could go that way. So yeah, it's very emotional. I think there was, out of the whole course that performed last night, I think there was 4 of them that have been together for that 5 years. Obviously for sort of similar reasons, pandemic limited options a little bit for some people. So, you know, you think when you start college at 16 and you graduate at 21, you know, I've watched those girls that Fran's been with for 5 years, watch them grow up. So, and it was funny because yesterday I kept saying, oh, I can't believe my baby is graduating, but I didn't feel emotional, and I was thinking, why am I not emotional? You know, I've been emotional with the others whenever they've finished one chapter of their lives. It just didn't feel real somehow. And then as soon as we got into the theatre last night and the lights went down, that was it. I was blubbing. It hit me then. And of course at the end of the show, when they were, oh, I'm getting emotional again, when they were taking their bows, sorry, they were all crying on stage, so it was really emotional. But that's the end of another chapter, and hopefully on to great things for all of them. So there we go. Right. Oh, what a numpty I am, getting all tearful while I'm recording. Silly girl, Karen. Right, so there we go. There's the last one, but just as well it's the last one, isn't it? Whew. So let's just check what the last one's going to look like on a page. So we have that side, and I've not really paid too much attention to the papers I've picked in the back deliberately, so that, you know, I'm not overthinking it and not trying to be too matchy and what have you. So let's have a look at all of them. Don't know how many I'll be able to show on camera. That's one of the taller ones. If I get my glass of water out the way, pull my glue mat out the way. How high can I go? That high. That one, another tall one, and that one. And then if we turn them over, that one, the difference is really subtle, isn't it? That's almost a hidden pocket. And some of these are still very sticky. So I think they're fabulous. So as I say, I will link Tina's video so that you can see her double over the page pockets, where I got the inspiration from, and I will link to Hayley's website or social media or what have you, or whatever. I'll leave all the relevant links below this video. So I hope you enjoyed watching. Let me know what you think. I will hopefully be back in another couple of days. But in the meantime, take care, stay safe, enjoy the sunshine safely, and enjoy your own crafty time. Bye-bye, everyone.